The most difficult part of my job is it's probably working with the old man.
I was like, well, dude, I didn't think I was sick when I came in here. I wasn't even, it was a physical.
Corey Harrison's rise on Pawn Stars looked like a dream until the rumored heartbreak began. From shocking arrests to painful losses, fans say there's a side of Big Hoss that the show never dared to reveal. Could his recent silence mean something more? The truth might shake longtime viewers. Corey Harrison wasn't just some guy who popped up on a reality show one day. He was raised in the heart of it. Born into the Harrison family legacy, Corey was introduced to the world of pawning at the tender age of 9. While most kids were playing video games, Corey was learning to appraise antiques and close deals with adults. His grandfather, Richard Old Man Harrison, laid the foundation, and his father, Rick, continued building on it. For Corey, it wasn't just a family business. It was a way of life. He became known as Big Hoss on Pawn Stars. And over the years, fans grew to love his sharp instincts and big personality. But as charming as he appeared on camera, there was more going on than met the eye. Corey didn't just inherit a business. He inherited the pressure of living up to a name that had become iconic in Las Vegas and beyond. What most viewers didn't see was the inner struggle of a man trying to carve his own path in a family that already cast a massive shadow. And just as things seemed to fall into place, tension behind the scenes started to rise. Working side by side with his dad and grandfather wasn't always easy. The Gold and Silver Pawn Shop wasn't just a store. It was a battleground of opinions, decisions, and family pride. Corey wanted to prove that he wasn't just the kid tagging along anymore. He wanted a real seat at the table. So he did something bold. He demanded 10% ownership of the business or he'd walk away. It was a risky move, especially with Rick and the old man holding majority control. But Corey stood firm. Eventually, they reached a deal. He got 5% with the promise of more later. That might sound like a compromise, but for Corey, it was a small win in a bigger fight for recognition. While the cameras captured laughs and negotiations, they didn't always show the power struggles happening in the background. Corey had the experience, the drive, and the vision, but earning respect from his family proved to be a different kind of challenge. He wasn't just fighting for control of the business, he was fighting to be seen as a leader. And although that deal was a turning point, it wouldn't be the last hurdle he'd have to face on his journey. By the time Pawn Stars became a household name, Corey was already a familiar face to millions. The show exploded in popularity, taking viewers inside the Las Vegas pawn shop where history met hustle. But while fans saw the polished episodes, Corey was managing much more behind the scenes. He wasn't just on TV, he was running operations, handling staff, and managing online sales. Beyond the day-to-day grind, Corey, along with Rick and Chumlee, made appearances on shows like iCarly and even had their own trivia-based game show, Pawnography. These weren't just fun side projects. They marked how much the Harrison family had stepped into pop culture. But with all the fame came added pressure. Corey had to juggle being a television personality with being a real business manager. It wasn't easy to keep everything balanced. While fans lined up for selfies, Corey was still dealing with hiring, firing, and spotting fakes. And one bad call could cost the shop thousands. He once shared how buying 5 counterfeit watches taught him a hard lesson, and reminded him that even veterans can get it wrong. Still, even after years in the game, the challenges kept coming, and the next one hit even closer to home. There was a time when Corey Harrison was known not just for his business skills, but for his size. Weighing over 400 pounds, Corey carried more than just the family legacy. He carried serious health risks. In 2010, a doctor's warning served as a wake-up call. Told he was on the verge of needing long-term medication, Corey realized it was time for change. Driving home from that appointment, he passed a clinic offering weight loss surgeries. Without overthinking it, he walked in and asked what it would take. With limited money, he pulled out 4 credit cards and made it happen. That decision turned out to be life-changing. The lap band surgery worked quickly. In just 6 weeks, Corey dropped 50 pounds. By the end of the first year, he had lost over 100 more. But it wasn't just the number on the scale. His entire lifestyle shifted. He began watching what he ate, learned portion control, and even got back into activities he loved, like snowboarding. He also fell in love with boxing, going 12 rounds a day, 5 days a week. For Corey, this wasn't about looks. It was about survival. But just when it seemed like he had turned things around, life had other plans. Just months after his physical transformation, Corey faced another challenge, one that didn't come with a warning. While riding his motorcycle to pick up supplies for his birthday party, something went wrong. The bike malfunctioned, forcing Corey to jump off at 40 miles per hour to avoid a worse situation. Most people would have gone straight to the hospital. Corey, he went to the party. It wasn't until later that the pain caught up with him. Doctors discovered damage to his hand and performed surgery, placing 8 screws and 2 plates. It was a close call, one that could have ended differently. Still, Corey treated it like a bump in the road. He brushed it off, showing the same resilience he always had. But deep down, this incident was another reminder of how quickly life could change. And while the physical pain healed, emotional burdens were quietly building. Corey may have looked like he was back on his feet, but behind the scenes, the weight of expectations, fame, and family legacy continued to take its toll. Unfortunately, these challenges didn't stop there. Another hit was around the corner, and this time it would shake not just him, but his entire family. Corey had always looked up to his grandfather, Richard Old Man Harrison. More than just a mentor, the old man was the original foundation of the family business. He had taught Corey not only how to run a pawn shop, but how to carry yourself with confidence and integrity. When the family faced the difficult moment of saying goodbye to their patriarch, it wasn't just a personal loss. It felt like the end of an era. Rick, Corey's father, shared heartfelt words about his dad, calling him a friend, a teacher, and a legend. Corey also took time to honor the man who had shaped his life. He thanked him not only as a grandfather, but as someone who had helped guide his journey from a young boy at the counter to a respected business leader. Fans around the world showed their support, and even the History Channel released a statement honoring the old man's wisdom and impact. While the show continued, the absence was felt. This moment shifted something for Corey. Losing someone so central to your life and career creates a space that's hard to fill. And while he tried to keep moving forward, the road ahead would continue to bring unexpected turns. In September 2023, Corey made headlines, but not the kind he hoped for. While back in Las Vegas, a police officer pulled him over, suspecting impaired driving. Reports said the vehicle smelled like alcohol, and Corey struggled with the field sobriety test. He later explained that he'd had a single drink 7 hours earlier on his flight and hadn't consumed anything since. He believed the poor performance on the test was due to a shin infection and uneven pavement, not intoxication. Despite that, Corey was taken in for further testing and later charged based on the results. It was a stressful situation, one that played out in the public eye. For Corey, it wasn't just about the legal issue. It was about being misunderstood, judged, and caught up in something he believed was blown out of proportion. He told a local paper, "I'm not that guy, but I'm also not someone who just lets things slide." The moment added another layer to the pressures he was already carrying. With cameras rolling, fans watching, and personal challenges stacking up, it became clear that Corey wasn't just living a reality show, he was fighting to hold his reality together. But the hardest rumors were still to come. What we do know is this: Corey is still active, still showing up, and still doing what he does best. Alongside Rick and Chumlee, he continues filming Pawn Stars Do America, engaging fans across the country with stories, laughter, and lessons from the road. While his path hasn't been smooth, Corey's strength has remained constant. He's a reminder that behind every reality star is a very real person, someone who faces struggles just like the rest of us. And as fans, we don't always get the full picture. So what do you think the future holds for Corey Harrison? Will he one day lead the pawn shop on his own terms? Let us know in the comments. And be sure to check out our next video for more untold stories.